Community Affairs Representative for Southeast Michigan.
I'll tell you what, step this way because it picks up the feedback.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me here tonight. I am here to simply bring greetings on behalf of Governor Whitmer's office. I'm the Community Affairs Representative for Southeast Michigan, so that includes Wayne County, Oakland County, and Macomb County. I am essentially your direct liaison between the community and the governor's office. So please feel free to reach out to me, contact me via email, call me anytime you all need any answers, questions, any issues you may be having in your various communities. I am available. I'm going to leave some of my cards on that back table, so please feel free to take them and please use them. The governor right now, our big priority is the budget, as I'm sure most of you have seen. So she's been getting across the state, sharing her budget proposal in various communities, and you know, we have a decision here we have to make in our state. We can either continue to disinvest or invest, and Judy spoke about education. Education is failing right now. We have a failing education system. Our children, they're hurting, our educators are hurting, and we're really feeling it. We're taking a huge hit. So we really need your support to help get this passed. If this is passed, this will be the largest amount of funding that goes towards public schools in a generation of kids. So this could help us to improve the infrastructure. We deserve quality roads. Our children deserve a quality education. They deserve to have those paths to a high-wage skill or a high-wage job. And that's what this budget can mean for our state. So please visit our website, the website that has all of the presentation material. It has infographics, videos, all the resources specific to the budget. And that website is michigan.gov/mibudget. Please take some time to review that information. If you haven't seen the presentation is there. Share it with your friends, share it with your colleagues, share it across social media. There's some really important information there. And if you support it, please, we ask that you contact your legislators. Let them know that you support this budget and let them know that this is what we need for the state of Michigan. And also, I'm going to leave some materials at that table that has a breakdown of what that budget means specifically for Macomb County. So you can pick those one-shooters up at the table in the back. But thank you all for having me.
People to work on the roads. What's the status of that using Michigan, contracting with Michigan workers or companies to do the roads instead of going out of state?
Yeah, the plan we have now does specifically say we're going to contract with Michigan-specific workers, but let me go back to my team and get more information on that, and I can email you specifically on that. But I do know that we are planning to contract with specific employees in Michigan.
An example of that, by the way, where there's other workers, is the bridge between us and Canada, because really Canada bankrolled the beginning part of it.
So the Canadian workers then?
Yeah, so you'll see some Canadian, there'll be some American workers or Michigan workers on it, but it's a mixed crew because they were some of the major funding for it, and it depends upon where and how the thing's being extended. If it goes out of the state, you might see a mix because they contract with a company, maybe a Michigan company, but they may have employed some people that live in the area, but out of the state, like Ohio or that type of Indiana on the far end.
Gary,
yeah.
Not just anybody can build a bridge. They've got to get guys from all over the place.
Right.
Because it's real specialty skills.
Yes, definitely takes skills.
Yeah.
I certainly have seen on the license plates of the trucks and stuff from out of state.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I do some digging on that now. You give me your email, I'll make sure I get a response back for you.
Okay, the semis. 5 or 6 years ago, when the money for the road started to be talked about, the fee in Michigan for the semi tab was only $30. Now, has that been increased?
No, not right now, but so we get that question a lot about the weight of the semi-trucks and the fines, but essentially the problem still is the funding that we're able to allocate toward the roads. So if we have the necessary amount of funding to put into fixing the roads, then the trucks wouldn't be an issue.
Okay, but in Ohio, their fee for the semis is $600. And in Indiana, it's either $200 or $300. Now, it's been $30 since God knows when. And they didn't want to raise it because Michigan is a peninsula. Well, when the St. Lawrence Seaway was finished, trucks that are in Michigan, no matter what, they have to come through Michigan. So why can't this be, do it incrementally, you know, like $25, $50 this year, $25 the next year, you know, just do it, because increasing the gas tax, we use less and less gas. So why don't you just across the board increase a little bit, maybe a little more in the semis, than the gas tax?
I will talk to our MDOT director, Paul Algebra. He's actually been joining the governor on this road tour she's on. So I'll talk to him, and if you give me your contact info, I can.
There, also, she has extended to the other side and our side as well. For anybody that's got input on how to figure out how to get $2.5 billion.
Yeah.
And she's asked for several alternatives. And one of the things that was one of the things they talked about. Another one is the factor of how much the trucks weigh that are allowed to come in. Some people think that that should be part of any bill that comes out, that there be a restriction put on it that would make it the road life longer or better than what we've had. So, but she had offered the other side, and their solution always is, realign the budget and take more money from something else. And that's exactly what they did to Snyder. They took money from what was called the rainy day fund. Those of you know about that, which was this is one-time fixes. It gave them $600 million. And then they said, we still need, because remember he cut it down to half of what he was asking for, $1.2 billion. And so they got the other money by taking these other $600 million from other parts of the budget. And that's how they got the money to pay for it for the 1 year.
But again, we're looking for long-term fixes, something that's going to help us to continue to maintain and sustain the quality of our roads.
So what are they doing about the truck weights? And I don't mean the legislature, I mean Governor Whitmer. What are their opinions? Because I heard before, I don't know if it was when I went to Southfield and heard a couple people speaking, heard Secretary of State speaking. They said the reason the trucks are allowed to be so heavy is because of trucks that haul lumber. I have yet to see a truck full of lumber go down my road. But I live on a county road, 2-lane blacktop, a main road in Sterling Heights, and you can feel the vibrations coming down. We're far off the road, it's been a real long lot, and you can feel and hear it like never before. And if they don't do something on the truck weights, they've got to do that, because that's just science. The heavier it is, the more it breaks the road. There's no point in fixing the roads really well if you're not going to get rid of the truck weights. There's no reason in the world, I don't care lumber or not, they can carry less lumber, and why are we cutting down all the lumber in Michigan? Come on. It's like raping the state. We're allowing like the Koch brothers, because they are a big paper producer, to rape the state of Michigan. Enough of that nonsense. Our state is now here to be raped. It's almost like the legislature, the Republican legislature, just wants to ruin the state of Michigan so that everybody in Michigan will leave. And that's happening with all the young people. We're staying steadily at under 10 million, and the people, they're aging here. It's an aging, what is it, in Macomb County, it's 40% is elderly and growing, and that's really the whole state. If they don't fix the weights of the trucks, she's got to really fight that, because that's nonsense of lumber. They can carry less lumber. That's BS. That was the biggest nonsense I've ever heard.
So our Department of Transportation is monitoring those weight laws. But again, the big issue is we just don't have enough funding. If we had the appropriate amount of funding, then the wait wouldn't really be an issue because we would be able to continue to provide the proper maintenance to the roads that the roads need.
No, it is an issue because it's a scientific fact. It's a scientific concept that too much weight. That is an issue. So for them to keep saying it's not an issue, that's nonsense.
I live on 21 Mile, and they fixed it a couple of years ago. And every time while they were repairing Hall Road, everybody came up on 21 Mile. You're right. You can hear. You kind of know. You hear. The whole house vibrates when it's a brick house. It's a solid brick house, and yet it vibrates when those trucks come rolling down. And you got to take a look at 21 Mile. It was only a couple of years ago that they fixed it, and it's a mess. And it's the weight of we just see trucks going by, and it's a one lane each way. I mean, it's amazing how they tore up the roads.
And the federal standards.
As far as the sales point, they think this would be a good sales point.
Yeah, no, I would definitely take that back to our
The federal there was an article in the Free Press last week, a couple weeks ago. The federal standards are half of what Michigan allows. Half. We should go by the federal standard. I mean, in the federal government, they do know a little bit about the weight of trucks. They've studied. I know it's a very thing. Oh well, it's spread out over the axles. Nonsense. The weight of that truck is the same regardless. Whether it breaks in the front or breaks in the back. And if they're going on a road that's falling apart, like the road I live on, which was just repaired a few years ago, not less than 5 years ago, it's Moravian in Sterling Heights. It's still, you can feel the trucks rumbling down, and huge. You see huge trucks full of whatever they're full of. It's like, oh my God. So they have to work on the weights. They can't get the excuse of funding.
Got a hand
I'll take that back to our.
Yes, about 50 years ago, I spent 2 years in the Army over in Germany. They have roads, what they call autobahns, so some to our interstates. And even then, 50 years ago, they had minimum standard where they went 12 inches deep when they put the stuff down. In Michigan, I think it's only half of that. If they were just maybe up to just a minimum standard on how much depth and how much stuff they put in the roads, that would be a long ways toward the roads lasting depth. We got minimum standards. You can just increase that. That would.
Germany's an interesting comparison because if you look at the global map and you look around as far as where degrees are, on the lines, in the same area, we get similar kind of weather as far as snow goes and that, and the like. And so it's apropos. Their roads, many of their Autobahn roads, last 40 to 50 years without any major repairs. And they do little repairs, but major repairs are 40 to 50 years.
Well, that's because
and they have trucks.
When they first made them, they made them to hold paint so they could move fast.
Right.
Yes.
And they didn't correct it in the first place.
Well, thank you all so much for your feedback. I am definitely going to take this back to the governor's office. Again, I'm going to leave my card up at that front table, so please contact me via phone, email, anytime. And thank you for your support.